Gallons, buckets.
I think I forgot to play music during the break. I don't really know. We're back for the second half. We've learned that we can move the cameras. Oh my god. All right. Let me use camera movement technology. I'm going to solve this problem. Oh, shit! It happened. Incredible. This is the best change Zoom has ever made. And they have made some bad changes recently, like adding waiting room.
Yeah, that sucks. I wanted to get rid of that.
So is this Pondo's single greatest addition to your channel ever?
Yeah.
No, of course not.
All right.
What would I say Pondo's greatest addition to my channel is? Kenneth Cross.
Was that your creation? Was it originally Pondo?
That was
I
Pondo's
gave him
rival.
a rough idea for it, and then he kind of just went away with it.
Yeah. Neo Buzzard's
now
still
he's
painting the Kenneth Cross Excalibur Ascending Atlas with the American flag on it.
The American flag torso and the denim jean pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've considered a couple of times, AP, like with this game, do I go and like add in your channel stuff, like, you know, like referring to Connor Hughes or that sort of stuff, or is that disingenuous for me to actually, you know, steal your...
Please feel like it. If you want to have an acolyte Connor Hughes once again, please feel free. Connor has said he wants to know what episodes he appears in ever since he showed up in Wrath and Glory.
All right, so is everyone happy the next day you're heading back to Port Suffering?
Yeah, you get to do some shopping and then go on.
Well, I have a question about shopping. How difficult is it to get like a picked thief, like just a regular old camera?
I would say that it would be probably the one step below ubiquitous. So I think plentiful is what that one is. So that would be.
I think so.
Only wanting one is plus 30.
Arthur's starting his Instagram for Nero. Is that what's happening right now?
Close. I'll explain later.
It'd be like a plus. It'd be like a plus 60.
Okay, so we can't. So I can't get it instantly.
No.
All right. I tell the Lord Commodore I need a pick thief. Highest priority.
Okay. So.
You don't even ask why, you just roll your eyes at him?
I don't know if he questions it anymore.
What if I had a good reason? And I'm just baiting you for
invented
this
this
and
thing
you're
called a
shutting me down.
selfie.
It hurts so much inside.
Why do you need a pick thief? May I ask?
Lord Commodore. As you heard from my wife and future mother of my child, Queen Lakima, probably not her name. I didn't pronounce it right, but that's just because I'm tired.
God, I hope not. That's a very
She has
unfortunate
never
name.
actually left the planet that she's on. I'm hoping to send her messages about our adventures so she might get some idea of what the outside world looks like off of that shithole. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a nice shithole. You know, I come from a backwater shithole as well. But
I didn't realize that you two were married. I thought it was just, you know.
it has to be
Business
legal.
transaction.
It has to be legally binding so that the heir is.
That's what the contract is for.
Okay, so
I don't believe any of the contracts said that you were married.
it doesn't matter. She's
Okay.
my queen and the future mother of my child. I just want to make sure that she gets something, you know, that she wanted. She wanted to know more about the Imperium. She didn't even believe that Chaos Space Marines were a real thing.
I love the idea that she was like, look, I just want like one and done, and that's it. You know, I'll raise whatever comes out, but that's it. And then like the next 18 years, she just gets inundated with selfies, just constantly.
So,
Like,
Lord Commodore, I'm aware that obviously we can't transmit these images via astropaths, but I could send her regular reports and save the pics for when we arrive, or
Oh my god, a care package that gets sent to it every month that has thousands of photos in it.
Or deliver them to our child when they're of age. It's very important to me, even if it's not mission critical. I understand if there is more technical equipment we need to acquire to keep Dawn from blinding all of us, but at some point, I would like one. How often do you see me asking for personal equipment for myself? Remember that time I bought 5,000 units of Renka?
I'll see if I can get one as soon as possible for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Also, I need another assistant to just take photos with me with the pick thief.
So Nero's
going to do that.
Once Nero has it, he's going to keep it in a grenade pouch. Or like a magazine pouch on his carapace.
He's going to take the grenades that he was given out and just leave them behind.
Listen, in what world do you think that Nero has one grenade pouch on him? Have you met him?
I also like the idea that every single month, this queen, she gets a care package of the following objects. A hand-baked cake by Nero. Several very thick tomes of personal diaries that Nero has written, followed by several stacks of photographs.
Listen, Dave, you are mistaking me and Nero because that sounds like something I would do.
I was going to say, all wrapped in the latest shirt from the shirt press.
Yeah. Again, it sounds like something I would do, not something Nero would do.
Okay. James, what is roughly like the population category for port stuff?
I would say it fits in the standard, like it's the is it the 100,000 plus order?
There's 100,000 less than 100,000 plus.
Because it relates, because it's not the population of the planet; it's basically the population of the imperial part of the planet. Because the natives are no
right.
English.
That's what I'm like. That's what I meant.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll tell you.
Because it's pretty much automatic for plentiful if it's you said it's one less than ubiquitous.
Yeah, which is plentiful, isn't it? Or is
it's abundant.
Abundant. So abundant. Not to be okay. Yeah. So this would be the less than 100,000.
Okay, so it'd be automatic for this said thing, and it would take a day to get it.
Yeah.
Guess who barked at 3:15 at night, waking up the wife because he wanted to come outside and hang with me? This little idiot.
Yeah. So I'll get that for Nero, just
okay,
because it pretty much just happened. Then I want to get a calculants array.
Yep.
We're gonna put it in the Chimera, right? We always said we would.
Yeah. So would we just say like this? The Chimera would have like a less like personnel ability to hold it.
No troop capacity.
Yeah.
Well, it would have some to carry us around, essentially.
We're not troops. We're heroes.
Yeah, we get pimp chairs.
We don't take up a slot.
Yeah.
We do take up a slot. That's the thing. All right. So first do the
scarce, which is
I think +0.
+0. Yep. And you want 1, so it's +30.
Yep, and then plus whatever, yada yada. Commerce. Do I get a +10 for mercantile? Pure mercantile, or no? +10 for mercantile, or
so for you got pure mercantile, or what are you using for that? Sorry.
To obtain this essentially.
No, but sorry, so you got pure mercantile? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I will. So this is on the commerce, that applies to the commerce test, not on the acquisition test.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Essentially, so do plus should be at +20 then with everything because of renown warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. 5.6. I'm happy with that.
Okay. Adds 10% to your. So you're now at +40 on your base 30. What does that 40 mean? 32 was down here, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it'd be a 70.
72. Yeah.
Oh no, it's 33 now because of the deal
Oh,
with
because
Nero.
a Nero seed was sold. That's right. Yes, so
Yeah.
73.
Alrighty. Okay, all right.
Here we
Got
go.
that. And that'll
Okay.
be in availability scarce. Less
Will be
than
1 week.
1 week. Okay, that's good enough. It'll be there for the future, essentially. Okay.
We can just wait
Then
for a week here. We don't have to leave immediately.
that's right.
So just so you know, if you're driving the Chimera to Stern Hope, it's an overnight drive. Like you leave today overnight to get there.
Oh,
sometime.
okay. So we'll
Sure.
we'll definitely be here for at least a week then.
Yep.
Next we're gonna get 5 of the photo lens. Photo visors.
Photo visors. So I think you need to be good quality. You don't need to get the
Yeah, it need to be at
modifiers.
least good quality. So it's they're scarce, so it'd be plus nothing
0,
from there.
minus
For
10.
good quality, it'd be minus 10.
Only wanting
Yeah.
5 is plus 20.
Yeah.
Takes you to plus 10.
Commerce 20. I can't re-roll because I technically
No,
passed.
you can
don't I?
spend a fate point to add an extra degree of success.
Okay. Sure, why not? It's not like I'm gonna need those later on, probably.
Okay, so you're plus
So
4, so plus 14, so 47%.
Oh boy. 47. Nope. Okay, not getting those anytime soon. Well, at least not now. Anything else that we need? We still have one more
test.
test. I can't try for those again, can I? Just for the hell of it?
You can for another test.
Because I can't think of it. Well, I think I probably need some carapace.
We could try to pick up infantry.
Does Big Spear need anything?
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to better armor.
Let's
But-
do that.
What armor would you like?
Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, I like. Well, what armor are we like? So like carapace are better, I think. Would
Enforcer
probably be.
Carapace is always going to be a solid pick.
So Enforcer Carapace.
I don't know
Is
how
rare.
difficult. Yeah, how difficult these things are to acquire.
So you could do Stormtrooper carapace, which is this. No, it's very rare. Never mind.
Yeah, it's harder.
So I guess unfortunately like carapace.
Yep. So rare is minus 10. You want 1, it's plus 30, takes it to plus 20. You can take that to a minus 10 if you wanted it to be best quality to get the plus 1 armor and half the weight.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the best quality so for the minus 10.
Okay, so minus 10 total.
Yep.
Plus your commerce test.
Oh, all right.
Plus 16. Okay, so we're looking for 39.
Oh yeah, our our profit factor is poop at the moment. Man, that sucked the joy right out of it, actually. 39. Okay.
That's it.
Of course we
Hey,
get
there
that.
you go. Best quality Enforcer Light Carapace.
And that'll be in 1 week as well. So
Yep.
So I think Nero is with Adrian while this is getting done.
Yep.
And he's looking at this like fresh, best quality carapace, like getting worked on size to Adrian. He's looking at his own armor, which he's worn for like 20 years. It basically kind of looks like a guy who's almost died several times. And he's trying not to be jealous, and he says, Thorn, you're quite man. How are you integrating with this battle group?
Well, it's certainly been interesting so far. Quite different from my time in the battle fleet. We didn't usually have people setting themselves on fire.
That's not normal around here, just to be clear.
So it's only Sister Dawn then.
Yes. Well, no. She has influenced several members of the crew.
I see. As he's like putting his arms out and like turning around for measurements and stuff.
Nero like looks over and goes, 50 centimeters for biceps. That can't be right. It's just like, wow. So you work out then?
I do. I maintain the regimented fitness training that I was put through in the Naval Academy. Look, I have a perfectly good set of Imperial Armsman armor. If you would like it, I think we're roughly the same size.
Nero looks down at his eyes and goes, no, there's no way that's going to work. My Enforcer Light Carapace is quite good. I just, look at this. Look at this masterpiece that you're getting. Well, I'm sure you need it more than me. I've almost died a lot. Like a whole lot. It's kind of my thing, What is it they call us? Arch-Militants?
Yes.
Walking disasters. Amazing people. Yes. Do you have any hobbies, Thorn?
No, not really.
That's very sad.
Spent most of my time studying and then performing my duties aboard ship. There's not a lot of personal time when you're a junior officer. You get a lot of grunt work.
Well, you're not a junior officer anymore.
Perhaps I'll have to find a hobby then.
I think there are some things we can work out on the ship. Certainly, I have some ideas on how I can improve my gunnery and maybe help you learn how to hide the ship. So we should do some drills, and as much as we are good, we need to get thousands of crewmen to do what we want them to do. So we'll just run some tests. However, allow me to offer you this. Have you ever thought of getting into acting?
Acting?
Yes. You haven't been on the ship long enough to know this, but I run plays on a fairly regular basis to boost morale.
I'd never considered it before, but perhaps with the new career, it's time to find some new skills.
I think you have the baritone for it. We could really get you in, like a singing operatic.
I believe they're known as barbershop quartets.
No, not that. I mean, more swashbuckling. Aha, I have arrived. That kind of thing.
I see.
Yeah, it's exactly what... Why is it every time I'm setting up a joke, somebody has to cut me off? Never mind. I'm pulling out of this one. Nero slaps him on the shoulder while he's getting fitted and just says, well, I was thinking maybe you could play the Lord Commodore in our upcoming production of The Lord Commodore and I.
See, well, I'm not sure I have the gravitas to pull off...
Yes, but literally no one else does, so...
Well, wait, the Lord Commodore and I? What about, the Lord Commodore's new groove?
That's the origin story.
Of course, Lord Commodore's new clothes. Yeah. Listen, there's going to be plenty of Lord Commodore plays to be made.
Yes, and we need a striking individual who's comfortable in the nude to represent the Lord Commodore.
Nope, we don't need that. We're trying to
impress. What's that Harry Potter film? Harry Potter play Equitus. Lord Commodore in Equitus. Oh Lord.
So, are you happy to meet with Mr. Quill?
I suppose so. Yes.
Okay.
I think we do it on our terms because, we severely outrank this guy in every single way possible. We invite him to come somewhere where,
Well, my
heavy bolters are welcome.
really Are we outside of the Imperium, or are we still?
No, we're deep.
inside.
We're deep inside. We're in Calixis.
So isn't my power only outside of the Calixis?
Yeah, but you're still prestigious.
Yeah, you hold the same rank as a planetary governor within the Imperium.
Okay.
So you can't just like go around murdering people unless, you know.
I don't know.
Without the greatest
Wait,
reason.
does a baron have sit higher than a planetary governor?
No,
or like,
no.
where does that fit?
No.
No? Okay.
So a baron is the baron isn't an official term for it's like queen isn't a term that's used. They're all the queen of Sephiroth Secundus is the planetary governor, and below that is whatever particular structure that planetary governor wants to create. The Imperium doesn't recognize any global rank below planetary governor.
I like the idea there's going to be one where it's queen and then her simps underneath.
It's the planet
Lord
Connaught.
Governor Simp.
And
The only
Medivh
term
is
you
there.
can't, the only term a planetary governor can't use to describe themselves to their own people is emperor.
Perfect. What a great system. Ponder, did you have someplace you want to meet with this guy? Otherwise, I wanted it to be somewhere where we could easily shoot him and get away with it if we needed to.
So his contact address, by the way, is like there's like an administratum style block of apartments that he's like rented a room in basically. So
that's not shifty
meet there anyway. Like he's looking for you. And there's obviously like there are public houses, there are facilities here. Like think of it like a little sort of colony town where you
We'll
might like
meet
to
him
meet.
in a spaceport warehouse. We don't need the fanciness. We just need some place to quickly hide a body if we get upset.
So James, is there like is there a way would the Hand of Calixis have like just some flak armor, like a just flak armor chest plate that I could take? Because I realized that I don't have any sort of
armor.
out and about armor.
Yeah, I'm happy for you to have just like a basic flak shirt, flak vest.
Yeah.
We order
I'm
one of our
also
guardsmen to turn it over.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about, because I would never really ask this about it when I got it, but the light power armor. What is the connotation associated with wearing it in public spaces? Like, what exactly is it exactly?
So, I mean, consider that it's basically sororitas power armor, what you've got. So, effectively, it would be the equivalent of, I guess, like police officers walking around in full tactical gear. I mean, people notice it. It's not like it's people panic when they see it, but it's definitely noticed.
Okay, so if you're walking into an unknown meeting with a guy named Quill, is it appropriate to use it as an intimidation factor?
Sure, it's not inappropriate. You're not going to be offending anybody by wearing it. It's part of your order basically. It's a uniform.
All right then. So I like the idea that everyone's getting ready. Then Sister Dawn like shows up in her power armor, and she's like, "All right, I'm ready to go."
Does it have the painted fleur de lis of the ecclesiarchy on it?
Yes, but it's not in the same colors that the normal ones are in. Like, because the cleansing flame order is like, whereas the normal is black and
It's
silver.
It's a white fleur de lis on a
silver?
black background normally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
it's inverted basically. So.
So are you not going to use the essentially the best quality carapace, enforcer carapace that I gave you?
There's the Enforcer light carapace and there's the light power armor, and I think the light power armor is better for me. I think
It'll only
It is.
operate for 1d5 hours is the problem.
Is it only 1d5?
Oh, it has
Well,
It's got a battery.
Yep.
yeah.
Has to be
I
recharged.
was not aware.
That's why I don't
of
wear my
that.
heavy power armor everywhere.
Aha, that makes much more sense about why people don't just walk around in it all the time.
I mean,
Okay.
theoretically, sororitas power armor should have a fusion pack in it.
But he's not a battle sister though. He's got
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Wait, that was just completely lost on me. Why would it matter? Like, do they have like some sort of?
They're
Inherent-
supposed to spend all their time on the battlefield murdering people.
Yeah.
So their power supply is indefinite.
Yeah, so Marines and battle sisters wear power armor, which has a fusion cell, which as long as there's hydrogen in the air, it can power itself.
Shit,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, they're also could effectively, there's like this particular battalion has like 20 sisters, so that we've got 20 sister paramount. One person dies, we give her paramount to the next person as such. There's no spares lying around.
Okay, because I have it written here in brackets, battle sisters. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what
so
that means,
stylistically it's the same, but it's just got that one limiting factor of it's got a standard fusion cell, so a standard power cell. Like,
right. Okay, then. Well, I mean, if it's only like a 5-hour thing, and from what I understand, you need like a mechadendrite to change batteries or something, right?
Oh, it needs to be
sure what
removed
it is.
anyway. Like, so normally it has to be removed and recharged. It's not like it's a battery you swap; it's a battery you recharge.
You plug a USB-C into it.
I mean, you could power it for your fusion cell, so you could recharge it in the Chimera, for example.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then I probably wouldn't be walking around on it. It's like we're going into space battle, so let's put on the best shit. So if we get sucked into the void, we can live.
Yep.
And that's the reason why I have it. So
yeah.
All right then. Cool. Enforcer like carapace it is.
All right. So you organize this place. This guy turns up on his own. He is a shorter stature, bookish-looking man wearing basically like administration style clothing, like a tunic over trousers. Just looks like an average worker. But he has, I guess, an air of intellect about him. You could have confused him for any other nameless plebeian in the Imperium, except for the fact that he does carry himself with a level of decorum and intellect. He's balding on top, so he's sort of got like the hair around the outside, but he's bald on the very top of his pate. Wearing like Pisner's glasses that sort of sit on his nose. He's carrying like a satchel under his shoulder, which seems to have like data slates, etc. in it. Yeah, probably his skin isn't great. Like, it's not pale like Voidborn skin, just more like he's sort of been in different worlds where his skin's got lots of sort of pock marks, or you get the impression maybe he's been sick in the past, had a skin condition he's recovered from, but it's left him with like scar tissue on some of his skin from like a previous particular bad case of measles or something along those lines, space measles.
Does he have anything now?
So no, it doesn't look ill now. Other than the fact that he just looks like he's not a generally healthy person, you would say. Like, he just walks with a little bit of a tad of a limp. But once again with that sort of air of intellect. And he approaches you, like, seeing people that are carrying like heavy bolters, he sort of like stands back and waits to be invited forward. He doesn't just approach with his hand out.
No, Nero approaches him and like shakes him down, like checks all, like very rudely too, like checks him for weapons, like opens his pack, and he's gonna try to act like he's not a baron or a highly trained soldier. He's just like a thug right now.
No worries. Yeah, no. Give me a awareness test at -20.
Oh, this is happening. Okay.
Oh cool. Man, the ocular pat down.
Awareness at -20. Okay, that's a 10 for me. Well, spend fate. Why not? You know what they say, a 10% chance is a 10% chance, right? That's way worse than what it says, because I didn't have -20 in there.
All right, he's unarmed.
Okay.
All he's carrying in the satchels is it's some data slates and some books.
Arthur, you didn't notice this, but he's actually a gun. Like, he is a gun.
That was a Key and Peele skit. If you've never seen it, with Corridor Digital, I think. Yep. Where they're like, I actually am a gun.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that. I need to...
Oh, my God. It's so good. He's like, not only am I you, but you're me.
It was actually Rocket Jump with Freddie Wong.
Yep. Oh, is that what it was?
Oh, yeah. Wait, I think I might know the one you're talking about then.
Where it pretty much did like the whole classic grade school things, like, I got you. It's like, no, actually, I got you. But I got this guy, I got you. It's too bad I got that one guy getting that guy who's getting you.
So I gesture for this guy to go forward to talk to the Lord Commodore. Oh, and I introduce the Lord Commodore, of course. I'm like, this is the Lord Commodore. Kneel, peasant.
Lord Commodore, he bows deeply. It's a distinct pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Mr. Quill. I represent a organization known as the Amaranthine Syndicate. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of us before.
Oh no, it's the first time ever hearing about you.
We're a cartel of trade organizations that operates within the Calixis sector. I'll be forthright and assume that at least someone in your group has done their homework. We operate at the very edge of the normal jurisprudence of imperial law, but in such a way that we don't cause any compromising positions for our own organization or for our clients. I understand from my contacts that you've worked well in the past with members of the Casballica, an organization with which the Amaranthine Syndicate shares strong ties. And when I observed that your ship had arrived in this sector, I reached out to my superiors, and they suggested that I make contact with you. I understand that another organization has actually had prior dealings with your forebear. With your sister.
Oh, really? What organization is that?
Oh, having relations with his sister, huh?
I mean, another member of the Amaranthine Syndicate has worked with your sister in the past.
I see. Who is this member?
She goes by the moniker of Mrs. Book.
Perhaps someone can book me a meeting with her at some point then.
She's been out of
Captain.
Thank you.
She's been out of contact for some time. She may be on a long-term assignment, but I would be happy to arrange a meeting for you if Mrs. Book was to report in.
Of course. That'd be quite lovely.
Now, I don't want to take too much of your time because I understand you would be a very busy person, Lord Commodore. I simply wish to make an acquaintance because, as I said, I was already on this planet. This is not haven't come here looking for you specifically, but when I heard you were here, I thought I should reach out because I'm hoping there will be business that we could do in the future where maybe we could assist you in any trade matters that you may have, that you may need contacts for, introductions, transportation. I'm sure we could come to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangements in the future.
Absolutely. I'll be sure to keep in contact with you in the future. I might have some things that come up.
May I ask, Lord Commodore, is your sister still operating in this region of space? We hadn't heard from her for some time either.
I must say I do not know. I have not spoken with my sister in quite some time, unfortunately. I've been recently trying to... no matter than that.
Yes, well. Is there anything that I can do for you now, or should I simply pass you my communications details and you can reach out to me as and when required?
At the moment, that will be all. I'm sure there's something that'll probably come up sooner or later.
All right. He reaches into his satchel and takes out a data packet, or just something like a USB stick. Like, he doesn't give you a whole data set, just something that's got his contact details on it. Everybody, give me scrutiny -10 rolls.
This is new.
-10?
Yep.
I'll spend a
great.
Point.
That's a 5 for me.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to spend a fate point to re-roll that.
I think I'm not going to bother.
Ah!
Wow. Nice work.
All right, so
fail.
Pondo, just in dealing with this guy, he comes across as like his expression is always passive. Like you wouldn't want to play poker with this guy or regicide because he gives absolutely nothing away in the way that he comports himself. It's almost like it's like talking to a servitor almost. Just in terms of how matter of fact and non-expressive he is.
Interesting.
I want to say you did a good job of bringing that across. Your voice for him was very. I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, that's my business voice.
So after this gentleman has finished doing the introductions and handing over business cards, I'll say, do you happen to do any business in the Koronus sector?
We tend to broker most of our relationships in the Koronus sector through the Kazbalika. That seems to work well for us. They're an organization like ours with similar goals. But if there's particular matters you have interest in, I'm more than happy to see what I can do.
I turn to the Lord Captain, and in the rogue trader camp, I'll say, it's come to my attention recently that we should be investigating and trying to find contacts who might have had any sort of relationship with the Harlequin faction of the Eldar in that region.
Interesting. I think Pierre will just say that and just nod. Like, we have some contact with the Kazbalika. If you have some other ones that we may get a hold of, other than, what is his name? What is his name?
Vladim.
Vladim.
Sorry. Yeah. Takara. Vladim Takara.
Yeah, it's a Vladim Qatar. That would be helpful as well.
Allow me to send you a list of our most regular contacts.
Excellent.
My pleasure. Well,
and I'll be sure to get a hold of you in case I have something of trade that I communicate with you.
Very good. I shall wish you all a very good day. He bows deeply and turns to leave.
All right.
All right, so Nero drops his act and says, well, that guy didn't kneel. That's kind of upsetting.
Didn't kneel?
Why would he kneel?
Well, I told him to kneel. Because you're better than him. Like, a lot better than him.
I don't ever think I've seen anyone kneel in front of the Lord Captain.
That's the problem.
Kneeling is for the Emperor.
I'll buy that.
Plus, the getting up and getting down kind of puts a...
That's why it's for the Emperor. It's very inconvenient for everybody. Because you can't quite talk to them while they're getting up, and it at least takes a couple of seconds, especially if they're a little bit older. They're not as quite as nimble as they used to be.
But I have heard stories of one man kneeling in front of you, and it didn't end well for him.
That's a different kneeling, and that was because he lost his knee.
Oh, is it not kneeling?
That's more of getting shot in the knee, having it blown off, than falling onto the ground in pain and agony. While listening to a villainous monologue and then getting shot in the head afterwards.
So, James, I want to make sure that my heavy power armor is packed into the back of the Warhound.
Yep, before your road trip.
Yep.
and then I'll have my light power armor as well, because that's important.
I'm going to pick up a pair of sunglasses as Deja Vu from the Initial D soundtrack starts playing and say, Lord Captain, Lord Commodore, it's time to drift. Because we need to test the capabilities of this vehicle. We haven't given it its road performance. We have the pathway and a map, so now's the best time to check out the weapons and, before we get that giant 1-ton calculus race put into it.
Is it really? Yeah, it is 1 ton.
Yep.
1 ton, isn't it?
I was just saying that Nero's like starting the engine, getting it into gear.
It's 1 metric ton.
Okay. Oh boy. Please no, I don't want to do this. What if it was 1 short ton though, James?
All right. Yeah, so road trip time. So it's pretty much most of the surface of this planet that you're going through is desert. And it pretty much involves a lot of the route you take is like going through, they build a lot of the roads through canyons, get you out of the sun because it can be quite warm as well. and the roads themselves are not well traveled. So you do occasionally pass like natives going past on. They pretty much ride some sort of camel-like equine creature that's obviously native to this world. So it's about an 18-hour total drive. So the expectation probably is that you would. I mean, you could do it all in one haul, but whoever's driving is gonna be fucking tired. So the expectation would be to stop overnight somewhere. That being said, there's no settlements to stop at. It's more sort of camping either in the Chimera or outside the Chimera. So what's your arrangement for transportation then under that circumstance?
Well, we have Wally as well that could drive the Chimera.
Yeah. So
yes, but Nero wants to drive the Chimera.
Well, you can both drive the Chimera.
Fully trained. All right, they switch off. But when Nero isn't...
Nero gets like the kid version, like from the Simpsons steering wheel that Maggie has. Wally has.
That mimics the crazy driver of her mother.
I'm glad you like that one, James. Yeah.
So who's doing the front leg? Who's doing the back leg then?
I think we probably switch off like every 2 hours.
Oh, so you either back and forth, I think?
Yeah. Because when Nero isn't doing that, he's testing the guns and making sure all of the, like, there are ports to fire out of, right?
There are, yeah.
Yeah, he's making sure all of those open and close, checking all the systems, just running a general test.
Does Nero sleep at all in those 18 hours?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to do it in his power armor.
Okay, no worries.
He gets in it like a cocoon, just sleeps inside of it.
Turns it on just long enough to step inside, then turns it off.
Well, it's air conditioned.
Air conditioned.
It is. It's air conditioned.
So you're going to waste like the power?
Well, it's plugged into the Chimera, so it's just using the Chimera's power.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna say when you arrive at Stanhope, you got 1 fatigue from Destiny.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Patchy sleep and sleeping in armor.
Yeah.
Right.
About the fatigue that me and
that'll be gone once you can rest. It goes straight away.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dawn, you would have healed one of your wounds from the fire.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like the idea that, like, when I imagine the power armor and like it being like a separate, like, in concealed space. You know how you get like a microphone? It has like the rubber shock mount.
Yep.
It's like that. Like you're just sitting like in a suspension bubble. So whenever the Chimera goes over a big rock, you don't even budge, but like you move up and down. And
it's like it's a Zorb. He's in one of those like Zorb things. You know?
A Zorb ball.
All right, so it's the morning of the second day, and you're probably within an hour or so of when you expect to arrive at Stanhope, when whoever's driving, whether it be Wally or Nero, notices because you're sort of like in a mountain canyon, and there's a group of natives, probably about 10 or so of them, that are effectively keeping pace with you along the top of the canyon on these same creatures. They seem to be sort of deliberate. Like if he slows down, they slow down. If he speeds up, they speed up. And their animals are capable of exceeding the maximum speed of the Chimera. So they're definitely sort of keeping pace with you.
Do they answer microbead hails?
They don't really seem to have that much technology. I mean, some of them have rifles, but they're quite tribal level technology.
All right.
There's probably a loud hailer on the mic on the.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Chimera.
There's a top hatch, right? Because it's an Imperial vehicle, and you need to be able to stab people with the sword.
I'll tell Luke Skywalker that these are probably the sand people that took the droids that we had.
Yeah, of course.
So
I like that's a good scene, but I like the one from the Mandalorian better, where the Mandalorian's like, "Tell them yourself," and he turns around and they're like right there. I want Nero to just start shooting, but probably it would be a better idea to have the Lord Captain talk to them. I want to give Pondo an opportunity to use his talking skills.
He's not going to make me roll him just because I have him.
Well, he didn't make me roll Intimidate, which was weird, but look.
Well, you have a chance of failing that.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to have you do this at the very least. Okay. Is there some way that Nero in heavy power armor can be seen by these people?
Yeah, you can pop the cupola hatch and stand at the top.
All right, yeah, he's going to do that. He's going to be up there with this heavy bolter, just tracking them. Yep. What's the range?
Maybe 80 meters up the canyon wall.
Yeah, they're easily within just even normal range.
Yeah,
they'd have to be like 300-400 meters away before I start getting worried. Okay, yeah, and then I like hand down the loud hailer Vox thingy to the Lord Captain.
These just tribes people?
Yes,
they're riding camel beasts, right?
Yep.
This is not the first time we've been in this situation in this campaign.
Yeah,
I like the idea that you're just like, "Hello, Updog. It is good to see you," and they're just like,
"What's up, dog?
What's up, dog?
What's
You
up,
got
dog?
him. You got him with Imperial joke technology."
The cringe rises too hard in them.
Their tribal psyches can't repel comedy of that magnitude.
Hello, this is Lord Commodore Pierre Cowles. I've come to visit this area. Is there one among you that can speak Low Gothic?
One of them shouts something back, probably over the sound of the Chimera's tracks. It's too hard to really hear what they, because it's, you know, they're 80 meters away. You're on a tank. It's hard to hear. One that you guess is like a lead one, sort of signals to his people, and they pick up speed, so they're now getting ahead of the Chimera. And it looks like they're like further up. There's this place where they can ride down a ramp onto the same level as you. They seem to be coming down to your level. They're not brandishing weapons. They're not like all their rifles are on their backs at the moment.
Okay.
Perfect opportunity to shoot them.
Once they get down, they sort of pull their animals up to a stop. Yeah, so they're not blocking the road, but they're sort of on the road ahead of you.
Okay, I'll just step out in my black vest.
Thumbs up.
Normal armor.
Oh my God! You're stepping outside the vehicle. Oh boy!
I'll get out and stretch. How long have we been in this thing now? Like 20 hours?
Yeah, it's been a while.
16 hours, 16, 17 hours.
Nero is just like on his microbead, like, Thorn, cover the goddamn Lord Captain before he gets himself killed. I'm screaming at Wally. I'm just like, Wally, keep the engine warm and keep it in first gear with the brake on.
So the natives here, they are quite tall. Like the average male is like 6'2". And there are obviously taller ones among them. They wear a sort of leather armor of some type. Some of them have like pieces of like flak or carapace armor sewn in for additional protection. And they mostly have either primitive weapons like bows, some have rifles, but they all seem to carry swords, axes, or some sort of hatchet weapon on their belts as well. They paint their skin with this like ashen woad. And you can see they all have horrifically bloodshot eyes, like to the point that it's actually like they've got like scar tissue on their eyeballs. If you ever seen what that looks like, where people get like regular eyeball damage that causes that to happen, probably occludes their vision somewhat as well.
Like that episode of The Simpsons. Yeah.
Yes, where it like grows like a fungus. That's not quite that bad. Yeah, there's one that's
so
like
as we're
clearly
walking up to this guy. I'll say to the Lord Captain, like, the natives here tend to abuse the ghost fire pollen, which is why their eyes are so bloodshot. Be careful of their aggression levels.
The leader is clearly the biggest one, and he actually has like 3 human skulls hanging from his belt as well.
Oh, that's normal. It's the Imperium.
Your skull count is so low.
Yeah, wow, Nero's just super unimpressed.
Only 3 confirmed kills? Come on. Amateur.
Pierre will walk towards like what he assumes is the leader.
Yes.
Dawn is shadowing him.
Yeah, as is Thorn.
He unmounts his animal and gives you like a warrior's almost sort of like a chest salute.
Pierre will return it in kind.
I am war leader Tefkas of the Red Sands clan. Why do you travel this way, Upwelder?
We're here to see a chapel. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's a
Turns
settlement.
Hope.
You head to Stone Hope, then? Yes.
Yes, I had come to go visit Stone Hope. There was someone of kin of mine that was there previously to see if I could maybe find some answers.
That is a cursed place. Every time Upworlders have gone there, disaster has followed.
Disaster in what way?
The mother has told me that monsters from beyond the veil of space have come from that place. And whenever your kind go there, they emerge in greater number. Denizens of the Crow Father.
Is that a known call sign for someone like Nurgle or something?
No.
Okay.
Crow Father.
Seems familiar. Wasn't there?
So what I will tell you, Dave, is that you're aware that this planet has a native population of a crow-like bird, which doesn't have it has no eyes. So it probably, as far as you know, it flies by some sort of echolocation, but it looks quite like a Terran crow, just with no eyes.
Okay. And do they normally revere this bird in some way?
No, they're like crows on Earth. They're considered to be an evil portent when they fly in large quantities.
Is there a roll I can make to know if I know anything else about this thing, or like who this crow father is, or anything like that?
You don't really have like scholastic or legend or history. I'll take
CL Ecclesiarchy.
That's CL's common law. No, because that's more education about the church. I'd take a -20 common law Imperium.
Can I try that as well?
Okay.
Yep.
-20. Was there any other roles that you would take or anything like that?
Well, I think you don't have, like I say, scholastic law legends, scholastic law history. But
I don't have any scholastic law.
No.
Well, I'm not going to spend my last fate point on that. Might need that for something else.
I have scholastic law Imperial Creed.
No, that's more to do with the church.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, look at that. 0.1 degrees of success. So this Crow Father you'd heard about when you'd been on this world before. It's sort of like a boogeyman to these people. It is effectively you've heard rumors that some parts of this world are the sort of the what connects the material world to the world of the warp is weakened in some areas. And so it's possible that this world's had past problems with entities of the warp. And so there's some, it's conceivable that there was at some point some sort of demonic incursion they may have equated to this Crow Father figure.
So in Rogue Trader Kent, I will basically tell the Lord Captain about what I know about all of that.
I want to be clear that Nero starts a chain of swears on the channel and then cuts it off. But he's like double checking to make sure he's actually wearing his heavy power armor, because that will probably come in handy when a daemon shows up. He cuts back on the channel and says, Dawn, do you think you can actually handle a daemon and daemon-infested creatures and all of that, or do we need to get a contingent of sisters with experience at this before we take a foolhardy plunge?
So I'm immune to demonic presence.
Well, that's great for you.
No, I'm not saying this in character.
Okay.
So
And you have a blessed weapon.
I do have a blessed weapon, don't I? Wait, no, do I?
Yeah, your sword.
Okay, yeah. So yes, I am confident in my ability to handle demonic presences, but like you suggested, it is always good to have an entourage of battle-ready sisters who can attempt to throw down with a demonic presence.
Is there a risk
Greater numbers are always going to be better.
that if we bring these sisters, they might be exposed to the evils of this place?
There's always a risk. However, unlike those who throw their lives away for the God Emperor in battle, the Sisters of the Ecclesiarchy are a little bit more focused in their pursuits.
Well, you can go handle calling them. Do we have any spare microbeads or communicators or anything like that?
So microbeads have a range of 1 kilometer, but I'm happy to say you've got a couple of spares.
I'm looking for something that we can call this guy back in the future with.
You would need to give him like a Vox or something, but there.
Do we have a spare Vox?
No. I mean, I suppose I'd say that you probably have a handheld Vox in the Chimera, and the Chimera's got its own Vox. So you give him the handheld Vox, but then you've lost that Vox basically, unless you go back and get it off at some later point.
It might be best to visit this location with the blessing of this tribe and scout it out to the best of our ability, and then make a decision whether or not we need additional backup.
Are they the
especially if they're willing to
this area?
I'm not sure.
You asking that, or
I say that to Don and Pierre and the Rogue Trader camp.
Lord Captain, would you perhaps like to ask this gentleman about his role in all of this?
What is your duty as this area? Are you there to protect others from going inside?
No, I am the war leader of my tribe. I simply wish to know whether you plan to go there so that I can take my tribe somewhere else.
Ultimately, I do want to go there.
Our agreement with your kind is that we do not attack the Upworlders for any reason. And thus, I cannot stop you. But I will take my tribe away from here until the danger is past.
Very well.
May the spirits guide you well to the next life. He mounts his camel, and they go to leave.
Dawn's face just like triggers a little bit, like her hand like instantly lands on her like sword when he says something like that. She's like, "Well, Captain."
Yes, I know.
Yeah. There's an opportunity here. You know, this is a sandbox game, but we're always following the main plot line all the time, literally, constantly. We have the capability to acquire weaponry, technology, armament that would allow this person to raise his status and ranking. He went out of his way to volunteer information that warns us of upcoming dangers we were not aware of. Sure, he was kind of a dick about it, but he's trying to protect his people. We could sell him such armaments in the future and change his lot in life quite drastically.
I don't know how wise of an idea is to sell weapons to primitives.
Oh, I wasn't just thinking one primitive. You know, I think we could strategically sell weapons to several different groups, change the balance of power here.
Are you suggesting that you wish to arm the armies that go against the Abbey of the Dawn here, Nero?
No, of course not.
That's ultimately what will probably happen.
That's ridiculous. Don't they gather up the Ghostfire pollen to sell to the Abbey of the Dawn, or am I wrong about this?
Well, the Abbey is so effectively the Administratum runs the planet here to the point that, but they've worked out the best way to work the planet is to have the native population collect the pollen and allow them to keep their native populace and their way of life roughly untouched.
Right. So far,
as long as they keep bringing the Abbey is just, this was a convenient place to set an Abbey up because it was away from the rest of Imperial society. They could, it was a relatively backwater world they could go to and educate the sisters in a closed environment. So the only risk, I guess, with arming the native populace to a large degree is they might suddenly decide, well, we don't want to be governed by the Imperium, so we're going to take these weapons and chase them off our world. But I mean, it sounds like this
that
particular
has literally
arrangement
never worked at any point of Imperial history.
That's right. This place has been under Imperial control now for generations. So
it's like Tony Stark going to Iraq and realizing that all the enemies are using Stark weaponry, and then he's just like, hold on a minute.
Yeah. So they recognize the superiority of the Uplanders there, or the people from the Imperium. They're not going to fight you because that's within their past law. Obviously, they'll defend themselves if they're attacked, but that's why they didn't try to tell you to not go there. They just wanted to know if you were going there or not.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's a real opportunity to squeeze blood from a stone here. No one is supplying these people weapons, and we can do it.
What sort of weapons were they armed with? Like
mostly pretty weapons. Some of them had like auto rifles, that sort of thing. So
it's not even going to be like a huge step up if we like bring them all auto rifles or las guns or anything like that.
Las guns and armor, bro. Let them take their enemies from afar.
I'm just thinking of the door of the Abbey just being fucking ransacked by these idiots. It's just like, yeah.
How about this, Dawn? We can strategically get involved here and pick allies. Warlords who don't mind the Abbey of the Dawn, and more importantly, who will become reliant on consumables from the Imperium. Get them hooked on Renka, good rations, munitions.
Sounds like you've never had Ghostfire pollen before.
Well, you're correct, I haven't. But
would you like to try some?
Not even... not even slightly.
How about this? We have someone inquire with the Abbey of Dawn, see which of the tribes tend to work best with them, and determine which ones we favor over than the others. And my worry is that we give them these weapons, they try to attack the Abbey, attack the Abbey though.
The Abbey is a defensive structure guarded by what I'm assuming are dozens to hundreds of trained battle sisters. I think that they can clean up on some camel riders.
Yes, but then they lose their supply of...
There is always more supply.
Well, the Ghostfire pollen is quite difficult to harvest, and it comes at a cost for those who harvest it. So if anything, if you wish to make any sort of monetary gains from such a thing, you would need to maintain the status quo, but somehow become an exporter of Ghostfire pollen.
No, this sounds ridiculous. Look, these people are always fighting each other, right? In order to harvest the Ghostfire pollen, we have a real opportunity to consolidate the trade here. Pick a group that we like the most, allow them to become powerful enough to take all the rest of them, really industrialize the way Ghostfire pollen is collected. I feel like this is not that difficult for us to do. The Imperium has been doing things like this for millennia. We could put it into practice here and make some real money in the process. And increase both the quantity and quality of Ghostfire pollen that's being gathered. We might even do some good for the local populace.
Almost
Imperialize
sounds like
them, bring them up
here.
in society. You know, obviously it's going to take dozens of years for that to happen, but you start by one administration, one power.
So,
what do I know? I'm a soldier. Somebody call the Abbey and go get us some sisters for demonic anti-possession. I'm just gonna fall asleep in my armor again real quick, as I'm tired.
I doubt they'll send them, because if they wanted to deal with this problem, they probably dealt with it by now. Yeah,
I think it would be best to scout the location first, to be honest with you.
Yes, essentially I'll send a Vox out to the ship to see if the Abbey can send any sort of sororitas over here for possible demonic or warp situations. Of course, they already know about it, right?
Yeah, so the response that comes back is like the sisters have investigated that place and never found anything there. Like they know that something went down there in the past, but they've gone there since then and like there's nothing there. It's just an empty cathedral, an empty settlement.
Right.
If you're saying there's a problem, you want them to send forces, they will send forces, but they're still a day away.
Right. Ultimately, if there's some sort of warp fuckery going on, we don't want Wally going in with us, so he'll just have to sit out in the Chimera. Which the
You get a box that's like, happy to do that. Happy to do that.
So you're still about an hour away from the settlement.
Okay. So then I guess we'll go just park like maybe a 10-minute walk away from the settlement.
Yep.
And then go to there that way. Okay. Again, letting Wally stay in the vehicle and on call for an emergency pickup if need be.
Yep.
And we'll just kind of scout out the area at first, and then.
Okay. So when you come over, you see the open area that the settlement's in. Effectively, it's a small walled settlement. Probably would have had enough room for maybe 400 or 500 people to live there. So primarily sort of like lean-to style buildings or tents, which are all, remember, it's been abandoned for over 10 years. So it's pretty much just like, structures what structures are left there with like bits of cloth hanging off and blowing in the wind. In the very center of the town is a large, like about 3-story high black stone cathedral, circular with turreted corners. It looks like, from what you can see at a distance, all the windows have been smashed in the past. This place has been abandoned for years. So the only real permanent structure is a cathedral. Anything around that is just temporary accommodation. That's just what structures have collapsed or survived there. There was a small wall to the city, to the settlement, but it's collapsed in most areas. Otherwise, other than the wind, it seems eerily quiet.
Nero's going to sweep his omniscope.
All right, so the omniscope picks up no heat signatures, no sign of recent occupation. It looks derelict.
Lord Captain, would you like me to take point in this endeavor?
Feel free.
All right. So, yeah, she'll, I don't know, is there like I leave the Vox on sort of setting?
Yeah, you can do it. Yep.
So you can instantly communicate. Okay, cool. So she'll go in and take a look around.
Okay. So when you sort of get to the edge of the town, you can notice that there's signs around the church that there was past violence. So you can sort of see holes in the walls that look like they've been caused by high-caliber weapons, but they all seem to have been blown out from the inside. Like there's some sort of conflict in the church at some point in the past. There's no sign, once again, of recent occupation. No footprints in the sand here. Still looks abandoned. The cathedral doors are hanging open.
So she'll make her way in to the cathedral then.
Everybody else is staying back from the town.
Nero is
I don't
gonna.
think so.
Yeah, Nero's gonna run an Auspex scan with his suit and stay near Dawn.
Okay. Give me a Auspex. It's a. Do you have tech use or not?
I do not, but my suit has Auspex in it.
Okay, so just give me a awareness roll and just flat awareness.
Okay. I'll let it
Does all power armor have Auspex?
No, my power armor actually has a good quality photo visor built into it as well, and a bunch of other shit.
So no, I mean nothing out of the ordinary here that you would expect on the Auspex. No life signs other than Dawn's.
Okay.
Yep.
Nero just keeps running all of his he's literally looking at the Auspex while also cybernetically looking through the omniscope, getting like all sorts of weird vision from every direction. He's just like ah.
So Dawn,
you like the Predator flicking between vision modes. Yeah.
Vision modes. The temperature drops palpably as you enter the cathedral. It's quite warm outside, and although it doesn't become cold, there is a definite chill in the air. It's silent inside the cathedral. The wind blows through, but it seems somehow muted. And in fact, even like the light in here seems muted. Like the windows themselves are smashed out, but it's still very dark inside. Like the light just doesn't seem to penetrate through the window frames, and what light does come through is like filtered through the flapping bits of fabric outside and creates these motions of shadows around the edges of the cathedral. So the cathedral is basically laid out with so it's circular. The pulpit is in the very center of the circle. Coming from the doors towards the pulpit are rows of knocked over pews. Beyond the pulpit are stone caskets, like coffins, like arrayed behind the pulpit in a sort of, I guess, organization of reverence. And then there are plinths built all around the outside of the circle that look like. So some of them have statues of imperial saints, but it looks like it was only half built. So a lot of the plinths are still, the bases are still empty of their statues, and some statues have been knocked over and smashed on the ground. Once again, you can see more signs in here of damage from a previous fighting, basically. There is. Give me a just a straight, not awareness, a straight perception roll, please.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I do have it. Okay. Yeah. Can I raise the perception in any way by like pulling out my blade that's on fire and illuminating the area a bit more? No? Okay. 3.3.
There you go. So this place gives you, there's a very eerie quality that you actually like feel it in your soul, that there is something inherently malfeasant about this place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is it like permeating in any particular area, like on the plinth?
No, as soon as you pass the threshold, you feel it within the cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
There are rooms at the back of the cathedral, like probably clerical offices that appear to be closed, but no one else in the actual cathedral area itself.
Okay. So the markings, like you said, all the pews were like pushed outwards and stuff like that. Is it?
Well, it's
like,
been knocked over from the wind and people coming in here and the fighting probably at some point.
Okay, so it wasn't like a blast center, like
no,
out or anything like that. Okay,
no.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go over and examine the plinth, I guess, in the room.
Okay, no worries. What are you doing at this point in time? So Dawn's been gone there a few minutes now.
I mean, Nero's sticking close to Dawn. What's this plinth look like?
So think of it like it's a pulpit on which you stand. So effectively, you've got like a raised central circular dais with like a wooden box, like behind which the priest would sit and give a sermon.
Oh, I think we might have a different definition of plinth. I thought plinth was the thing that holds statues.
Oh, sorry. I was also saying plinths around the outside. Sorry.
Yeah.
There are statue like mounts around the outside, but in the center, sorry, is more like a
pulpit. Yeah, I understand that now.
Pulpit. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Yeah. Nero's just sticking close at hand in that horror movie, guy who's clearly going to die first way, just looking around, like muttering, "I'm definitely not going to go out first." Jumping at
Pierre, what are you
shadows.
doing? So what are Pierre and Adrian doing?
Adrian's going to stick pretty close to Pierre since Nero's in the church already. So
I think Pierre gives him about maybe 10 more minutes before he goes in himself.
Okay. So Dawn, you head over to the pulpit. So there's something carved into the top of the pulpit in the wood there. Give me a Forbidden Law Heresy at +20.
Boy, yeah, whenever somebody has to make this test, I feel like we're in some deep shit. Look, I got Forbidden Lore Pirates. You ever see me rolling on this?
Yeah, so you recognize they're profane symbols of chaos. Someone has carved these chaotic symbols in here. It appears to be some form of ritual carving.
Do you say or do anything?
Like the placement of the glyphs is just as important what the glyphs are.
Do I understand what the glyphs are?
No, you wouldn't promote. You wouldn't corrupt your mind with such knowledge. You, as far as you can tell, that they are aligned to the chaos god of magic and fate.
Cinch.
Yeah.
I basically say under my breath at Nero, and it's like, I'm surprised that my sisters said that they found nothing here.
Yeah, Nero's going to turn and say, and it's super bass boosted through his headset speaker. What did you find?
Signs of chaos.
All right, Nero like reaches to pick Dawn up, and it's just like, you have your flamer.
If you go to reach to pick me up, Dawn will take a step back and is like,
we need to burn this place and leave immediately.
Well, you
so not much of the cathedral itself is actually flammable. Like the pews are obviously, and the pulpit is, but like the building itself is made of some sort of
everything is flammable.
Oh yes,
it's just a matter of temperature.
Yeah.
I bet you would have sat there and told me that Regina 4 wasn't flammable, and yet we did in fact burn it. So,
so what is the purpose of James? Remind me, what was the purpose of the Abbey sending us here?
So this was the last time Pierre's sister was on the planet. She came here. And it was after whatever disaster was struck.
Yeah, so Nero is tired of this conversation with Dawn, and she's not going to light this thing on fire. So he raises a power fist and slams it down onto the pulpit to smash the chaos symbol.
Okay.
And then he's going to like warn Pierre and Adrian, just be like, there's chaos shit inside. Oh no, well, he'd be using his micro beads, so it would sound normal.
Like you smash it into splinters, and then the splinters break into dust.
Are you really going to throw away any clue of the Lord Captain might have of finding his sister's location?
Do you really want to involve ourselves with this level of chaos and heresy? We can find one girl in the Imperium easier than we can undo a mind filled with corruption.
You seem to misunderstand how deep his sister is already in this.
No one tells me anything. We should really have a meeting and figure out what's going on here. Because really, he's not been told very much about Evangeline being like the target of anything here.
The dust that was left of the pulpit begins to stir, and the augurs in your power armors read that the temperature has just dropped down to near freezing, and the shadows there seem to lengthen.
Here comes in.
Yeah, stay near the door. Something's happening.
Okay. Yeah, the dust on the ground like rises off the ground and begins to like spin in a like a miniature hurricane, and it starts to coalesce into an object. You see like power armored feet appearing and extending upwards. So I'll tell you. So what you can see is blue turquoise power armor legs appearing out of this.
I mean,
dust.
do I recognize this as some chaos heresy bullshit?
Like the armor itself has has more of a spiked pattern to it that you haven't seen on Space Marine before.
But let me just ask, like, would I recognize this as being like, yes, this is the this is Alpha Legion or something like that?
You don't know that much. You're not sure.
I have
It definitely looks like
Scholastic Lore Tactica.
You need to see more of the armor. So far you've got a pair of legs and almost a waist. I'm just waiting to see.
You know what, James? Fuck that. I start shooting it as soon as it appears.
Okay,
There's literally not just gonna be like, hey man, look, I was an Ultramarine and you shot my leg off. No.
That's fine. No worries.
Every part of this is wrong. I'm just fucking shooting.
Okay, no worrise.
And I'm screaming at Dawn to set the splinters on fire because that's how splinters work.
Obviously, I don't know if that's how they work in this situation, but sure.
Yeah.
They turn to dust, then turn to a tornado, then turn to Space Marine legs. I don't think I can set them on fire.
Look.
So when you start,
we call this an ambush round, okay?
Yeah. So you're firing. I assume you're firing all your weapons that you can fire in one round into it.
Yes.
Yeah. So all the shots go through it, and it's like firing into a sandstorm. Like you see, the circular burrow holes of the round go through it, and the round sails past and explodes when it hits the wall on the far side.
Am I at least fucking up this wall?
Yeah,
I'll be back for that wall later. Don't worry about that.
So think of it like Sandman in Spider-Man. So effectively, it's like the sand is somehow, the dust is somehow formed into a visible white light shape, but in reality it's just a cloud of dust particles that your shots are going through.
I'm still screaming for Dawn to set the dust on fire.
No worries.
Yeah, while Nero is opening up on this thing, Adrian shoves over some pews and creates a little firing position basically.
No worries. So the dust completely coalesces into the shape of a Space Marine wearing, he's got the symbols of chaos on his armor. Nero, with his armor fully shown, you recognize the symbol Legion of the Thousand Suns.
Great.
Although he doesn't wear a helmet, his face is visible.
I shoot him
you
in
can
the
sort of
face.
see. Okay, so the shots go through the face, which coalesce a moment later.
I just keep doing it though.
Okay, you run your ammo bin dry, ineffectively against this thing. I'm assuming you can reload and keep shooting if you want to, but
yes.
you seem to be putting any shots into some sort of projection, as far as you can tell.
Nero, can you stop? You're not doing anything. Stop shooting.
Your augurs aren't detecting any presence. There's nothing there according to the augurs or anything in your armor. So
I'm gonna pick up some nearby object, whether it's a pew or a candelabra or something, and throw it at this thing and be like, why am I the only one firing at this?
It's obviously not doing anything.
Multi-gun ammo is expensive.
It walks forward through the pew and points to Nero. Now, if you're still firing, you probably won't hear what it says because it says it in quite a low voice. But let's assume that you catch you.
I'll stop it when Pierre tells me to stop because I obey orders, so that he doesn't later be like, well, that one time you didn't.
You're not the Harlock.
Oh shit! I want to be clear that as soon as that happens, I move to block his vision of Pierre.
How is it that you have triggered my ritual?
I've destroyed your power here, filth. I will not converse with one such as you. Be silent and leave.
He looks back at where the pulpit was. That is unfortunate, but my dealings here were finished years ago. I only wish to understand why my ritual was reactivated again. There is no Harlock here.
I'm going to be clear. I'm literally playing Fortunate Son over my loudspeakers because I don't want to listen to anything he's saying. James, again, let's be super clear. You've clearly got a good storyline, and I want to hear about it, but also listening to him is chaos. He could pronounce heresy to us, and we'd be like, oh no, our minds! I'm doing everything possible to protect everyone from the heresy.
Yep.
Dawn will step forward and say, "We are seeking the Harlock."
Nero, turn the bloody thing off.
Oh my god, this is terrible. You're all making... Alright, I do it. This how the campaign ends in like 50 episodes. We're all gonna be wearing leather, we're gonna have spikes on us, worshiping chaos. This is the moment.
All right, he does look past when you say turn it off, he looks at and he spots Pierre.
Shit.
I see. You are the Harlock. What is your relation to the other one that came here?
Does that matter?
No, not particularly. But maybe you can serve me in the same way she did.
No, thank you. Though I wish to find out where she is.
She is not anywhere within my vision.
Interesting.
So I will not waste more of your time than I have to. I will simply ask you one question. Do you want to prevent a Black Crusade?
What is the Black Crusade?
Well, Black Crusade is where people show up at Nero's home planet and try to destroy it. So
it's a Black Crusade is a mass attempt by Chaos forces to invade the Imperium and destroy Terra.
Of course.
10 years ago, the other Harlock came. 10 years ago, the other Harlock came here, and at the time, I told her that a faction of Chaos within the warp was ready to begin a new crusade. One that my master didn't want to happen. And so we came to an arrangement. I would help her prevent such a thing from happening. Even though it pained her to work with her enemy, she understood the greater good of at least delaying the Chaos attack. Now, 10 years later, my master is still not yet ready to invade, but other forces have. Chaos forces enter your space as we speak, and they are currently uncontested. My master wishes them stopped. You seem to be here for whatever reason, but you can serve the purpose of preventing it, now that you're aware of its existence.
Where have they entered in this space?
They've entered the area that you call the Moor, and they make their way now towards Port Wanda.
Interesting. In which
I have no further use for you. Hopefully this information serves you well and that you can prevent such a thing from happening so that the way is paved for my master in the future. And indeed, I must apologize to you for such power as this to be summoned by your blood weakens the veil between worlds easily. And I fear now you must defend yourself. His dust crumbles to the ground again. It's just dust. And you realize looking around that some of the statues have started to move and shift. And you realize like the shadows pull themselves away from the statues. And you see things that look like what's currently in Roll20 pull themselves away from the shadows of the statues.
Nero, shoot those now.
Yeah, Nero just starts shooting. Really, is there ever a moment where Nero isn't shooting? Let's be clear.
Yes, when I tell you not to shoot.
And I feel like rather than going into a combat now, maybe we save the combat for the next session.
That sounds really reasonable to me.
Would you consider these creatures demons?
Yes,
Yes.
they are 100% demons. Demons, what do we say?
So where are we at?
So I'll put you on the board. So Nero was near the pulpit. So let's put
he's there.
where are you? Nero. So the pulpit is where 4 is. So there's Nero.
And I'm
Pierre
guessing
was
2
back
is the
towards the
entrance.
door. Adrian was near Pierre,
It's a
and Dawn
huge
was near the pulpit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Nero come back towards Pierre? I don't remember.
He moved to block vision by the sorcerer.
Yeah,
He
it's
didn't
just putting it back a bit.
physically move towards you. He just wanted to be like, hey, I'm because he's one size bigger now. He's physically super huge in his heavy power armor.
So yeah, there are.
Where did the guy? Where did the dude
In the remains of the pulpit.
coalesce?
Right, yeah, right in the middle of it. Yeah. And if you look to the north, there are 2 of these warp creatures, and to the south, there are 2 of those warp creatures. They hiss and peel themselves out of the shadows.
Now we have to respect Adrian building himself a barricade of pews, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like to give him some cover or something to give him bonus AP.
I'm more than happy to, but I will tell you for free as a GM, for you players, that the good thing about warp entities is they ignore armor.
Yeah.
Their weapons, their claws just pass straight through whatever armor you're wearing.
That's fine. Let's put it on the map anyway to respect his effort. Hey, remember when I tried to make sure we couldn't talk to this guy?
I mean,
wait, let me be clear. This guy came to us and he's literally like, hey, I'd like you to stop a Black Crusade, and then the very next thing he does is try to kill us?
No, he's just told you that the power of his spell has just attracted like random warp entities.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's
I
not his
totally
fault.
believe that. Yeah. This is what happens when we talk to Chaos, guys. We can't do this anymore. We have to shoot them on
talked to
sight.
Chaos.
We have to shoot them on sight.
we did shoot them on. Or
You did shoot them on sight and he did nothing.
Okay. And we have to
right.
not talk to them. We have to just play Fortunate Son, Guerrilla Radio.
You activated it by yourself. This is your fault.
There was a ritual. He literally don't do this to me, Ponder. He's literally like, there's a ritual here. I destroyed the ritual. It was evil.
Yeah, you destroyed it, which activated it.
Our only basis for that is coming from a known heretic.
activated it for the last time too. So if you leave, another harlot comes back at where he won't be summoned again.
Ooh, see? That's straight from James.
That's it.
Yes, but you still activated for this time.
Hey, James, just out of curiosity, how far is the Emperor Protects in terms of like activation? Like, how far can people be away from me before it covers them?
That's a good question. I will look it up while we work this out.
Because it doesn't actually tell me.
All right, so armor is
'cause-
useless in this situation, correct?
Well, I mean, so my bonus, my skills, talents will give you guys like a ways to avoid damage.
Yeah. The range is the encounter, so everything is in range.
Oh, all
Fantastic. Right. I know what I will be purchasing in ready for next session then. So
You're literally like, guys, I just learned this new ability moments ago. The Emperor Protects!
That's right. I will give you 300 XP now, which means when the fight actually starts, suddenly, Nero's muscles will be that much larger. And
that's true.
Not that it matters.
And the God Emperor will shine down and give me an epiphany of how to protect my colleagues during this frightful endeavor. So yes,
I'm just going to be able to get more money. Getting nothing to help in this situation.
Like, here is another silver spoon for you, Baron.
Essentially, yeah, I'm getting hard bargain like right away.
All right, Nero also got concealment and bulging biceps. So when you listen, if it was another game, when he takes the armor off, he'd suddenly have huge muscles. But I foreshadowed it the whole time.
Right.
That's because I'm good at role-playing games.
You want to see like where his muscles rip through the arms of the power armor?
Wow, it was really tough using that power armor. Now I'm huge.
So, all right. So just so everyone's aware, basically the Emperor Protects is a talent that I can have that allows me to basically emboldening allies and himself to heroism in the face of terrible things by spending a fate point. The character grants himself and a number of allies equal to his willpower bonus, which is 4, in case you were playing at home, immunity to the effects of fear and pinning. Additional all close combat encounters made against the character and the specific allies add a -10 modifier. These effects last for the duration of the encounter. By burning a fate point, the character may allow an ally to resist the effects of a single attack, effectively allowing the ally to emerge unscathed as by a miracle. So that actually doesn't do anything for Daemon stuff, though, does it? I thought it was a Daemon thing.
I mean, it works for anything. I mean, the main thing is all demons have fear, which means so. What will actually happen when we do initiative next turn? You can use that in your turn. People that go before you have to roll fear, but whatever effects they suffer from will be nullified when you activate the Emperor Protects, unless they actually gain insanity or corruption points from the fear.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, because that's good. Yeah, demonic entities can cause corruption points through their fear as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad I could help everyone with that. So that's nice.
Perfect.
All right, there we go, guys. Thank you for playing, as always. How's our intern doing, Arthur?
I think he's doing pretty good. I want to make sure that, we get him a little forefront there, reward him for his scenes.
Look, he
did make a pew fort, so
that's right.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to make sure he got that pew fort on the map, even if it will do nothing, and in fact will probably obstruct anyone from helping him.
Yeah,
I like the idea that it's got a little sign that says "No demons allowed."
I'll be buying a church tile set, so I can put a pew there. So.
I just imagine this pew set being the equivalent of the Aegis defense lines for AP.
He just carries a pew everywhere.
I have this Aegis defense line that I have procured.
You're lucky I didn't bring that with me. Hey, remember
I hope you guys are happy because I gave up 2 melee attacks to make sure you guys don't go literally insane in the next session. So
yeah, we appreciate that.
We definitely appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm at 40 willpower. I'm doing decent.
You know what would have appreciated more though was burning the whole church down before this guy got a chance to talk.
Just a man who activated the ritual.
So yeah, you say activated the ritual.
I was like careful. I was carefully inspecting it, Indiana Jonesing that shit, and you just walked over and bitch slapped that guy into existence, basically. So
I destroyed a chaos ritual that someone left sitting around dangerously. What if some children had come in and touched it and turned into warp entities? Okay, all right.
Nothing would have happened because we didn't have the Lord Captain's blood and seed running around this place. So.
Yeah, exactly. We need to be taking better care of our churches by burning them down when they are filled with chaos artifacts. I strongly believe Nero did the right thing.
Look, I mean, sometimes for to advance the plot, you've got to suffer a little heresy.
No, that's not true. Sometimes you need to break a few chaos eggs to keep chaos from making an omelet. Okay. You break all of their eggs, you set the eggs off.
That's how you make an omelet. If anything, we need to hard boil those eggs before they can break them.
No, that just makes them stronger. Then you break open the shell and inside is a solid egg.
Yeah.
That's the Terminator armor of egg.
You're specifically saying like we need to break a few eggs so they don't make an omelet, but I'm like, bitch, that's how you make them.
Yeah, but we're not breaking them into the pan, we're breaking them into the garbage.
I feel good because normally when I overplanned, and today we got through everything I expected to, with the sole exception of finishing the fight. So that was a pretty good timing today.
Yeah, we had a large discussion about how armed primitive people.
So
I just want listen. I feel like we never flex our incredible monetary power to just fuck with people, and this is a really prime opportunity to just be like, well. Pierre Cowles for governor, I guess. Shadow governor. We choose somebody, we make them our champion, we let them take over the planet, we industrialize everything. We can put in the effort and we can gain riches. Well, also,
isn't there already a planetary governor here though? Like, isn't there already?
Well, the planetary governor is the top warlord.
It is, yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's like an administration representative who's still waiting for you to return his phone call. Who sort of does the Imperium side of stuff.
Oh, just to check in with him.
I like the idea that there's a guy sitting at his desk, occasionally just picking up a handset and listening to it. It's like, no, he hasn't called.
No, he's neatening up like his little name thing. Like he's waiting for Pierre Cowles to walk through his email and like
sharpening all of his pencils, like,
leaving him on red.
Running a lint roller over his flag.
He's like, keeping his cat nearby so that he can like put it on his lap and pet it and turn around dramatically. But like, it's just like
practicing right now. It's like
making a big deal. It's like,
yeah, that's occasionally spins around in his chair just to.
I'll tell him exactly that when he walks through the door. I'll tell him that exactly. I swear to God, I'll write it down, and then when you walk in, he'll be a blubbering mess instead. Like that's the difference.
You mess up his turnaround. Like, damn it. Spins too far, not enough. Far.
Yeah. And then he has to like walk it back slowly.
Yeah.
Intern, how have you been finding your time in these 2 sessions?
It's been fun. I'm excited to get into some combat, even though chances are I'm the least equipped to fight these things. Maybe
that's true. You are going to be like sous vide.
I think
they're just gonna get inside that armor. They're gonna massage your flesh, just like, oh, so tender.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If Adrian bites it, I've got a towel waiting in the wings for the greater good.
Oh my God, I fucking hate Xenos. How is that gonna work?
I thought you hate orcs specifically.
Oh, well, I do hate orcs specifically. I hate chaos, but no one will let me shoot the chaos guy in the face.
You tried, didn't do anything.
I mean, you did.
You emptied it.
But you told me to stop. Imagine a world where I continuously shot him in the face so he couldn't talk to us.
It wasn't happening. You tried.
We have our guy Wally bring the Chimera up, and he uses the Chimera's gun to shoot him when I'm not shooting him.
And he immediately fails his fear test and turns.
He can't be afraid if the guy doesn't talk.
Oh, that's fantastic. There's 3 of you and I can do 4 people, so Wally gets a immunity to fear.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Intern, let's start with your outro.
Yeah, I'm Big Spoon. You can find me over on Twitter at BigSpoon223. I'm typically in the chats here on the other shows that Arthur runs. I do want to say, I didn't in my intro, but I do want to say congratulations to all of the Time of Total Warfare cast and crew. Like, that was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. Sad to see it come to an end, but excited for whatever comes next in that endeavor. Enjoying my time on Rogue Trader. It's been a fun 2 sessions. So I'm looking forward to more.
Well, I mean, don't count your chickens just yet.
Sure,
sure.
Got to get out of my
battle armor
internship.
doesn't mean you'll get to wear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is my first combat wearing heavy power armor, and I feel like I'm going to do great because these guys ignore it.
Can I say, always extending people's probation really feels like an actual work to me. Companies always find a reason to say, we're just going to keep you on your current month by month right now until we decide that you're right for us. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Arthur, you are getting the bonus plus 10 strength. Not that you need it for shooting your gun, but you feel stronger.
I can't dodge while I'm wearing the armor is the problem, and that would be better in this case.
Well, you could always parry. Oh wait, you can't do that
with
either.
my gun. Not if I wanted to ever look its machine spirit in the eye again.
Flesh. Parry with your supple man flesh,
Dave, to your outro.
Hello, I'm Dave, aka Supple Man Flesh. Happy to be back playing this game. Your intro has never been. I've never heard anyone call you that either. So I think we're even on that regard. So Yeah, I don't know.
No, they
mean,
wrote it on Reddit. There was a whole Reddit post with my intro. That's where I took it from.
I can confirm that, Dave. Although I will say that I do take slight umbrage that he describes himself as a storyteller in the game that I'm running.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's an excellent point.
That's reasonable. Yeah, I'll have to remove that.
He doesn't even refer
game.
to himself as a referee for the Cyberpunk game either. So I don't know, man. It's like we're never going to win with Arthur. He's always just going to do whatever he wants. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you had fun. James, thanks for running it as always. It's always an absolute blast coming in and playing this game. Mostly because I'm finally hitting my groove with Dawn. I feel like, like I'm finally understanding enough, and I've played the character for enough weeks now. How many weeks has it been now? Like 7 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that.
Way more than that.
Way more.
For.
Like
way
20.
more. You joined in you joined like episode 10.
No.
Yeah. It's been like, yeah.
We're not
15,
on episode 30,
weeks.
are we?
No, this is like episode 25. We're 23
of
the last season, so. And you joined episode 10.
It feels like, yeah, I mean, it feels like it's taken me like 23 episodes to get a handle on this stuff. So
I'm just playing a pompous guy who has a silver spoon in his mouth the entire time.
I think the hardest thing really is when you come to
you're born to play.
When you come to the setting, you go, "Oh, it couldn't be that ridiculous, could it?" And then when you finally start to realize that yes, it is that ridiculous, that's when you feel like you're in the groove. When you just embrace the stupid and run with it.
Yeah, this entire time. Yeah,
I mean, I think I really hit the peak ultimate was when I like threw out a gang symbol, which was the most ridiculous thing I could think of, which was exactly what it was. So, I thought that was quite an accomplishment, if I do say so myself. But yeah, you can go follow my stuff on Twitter at Kinky Fridays, and you can go buy my game. It's called Piece of My Heart. We're going to release a new date for Halloween. She is a ghost girl, and you can do ghost girl related things with her. So it's good fun.
Voice by everybody?
No. It's voiced by this lovely lady who I met the other day, and she is quite the charmer for sure. Very happy to do retakes as well. I will say that much, but yeah, and that's me. Back next week, I guess. Oh, wait. So hang on, my time zone changed, but yours didn't, right? So am I showing up an hour early?
Yes. For next week.
So okay, so that means Cyberpunk and so Cyberpunk and next week's. Okay, so
yours will change. Yours will change after the next session, won't it? Because yours will change on the 1st of November. Yeah. Which, even though it'll already be my 1st of November, it'll still be your 31st of October. We're okay with the fact we're playing on Halloween.
I am.
No one's expecting.
Who's going trick or treating, man? What do you think is going to happen?
It's not a big deal here in Australia.
I'll dress up as Han Solo. Yeah.
I believe
Go ahead.
I believe we'll be out the 7th through the... Is it 7th and 14th we'll be out?
Yep, and I'll probably be out at some point after that for my vacation.
Okay.
You're out for the 7th and the 21st, right, James?
That's right, yeah. And
I might also be out on the 21st.
Pondo?
I'm out for the 7th, definitely.
Yeah.
And what about the 14th? Are you still on honeymoon a week later?
More than likely not.
Okay.
So we'll be back for the 14th.
Yep. So we'll be back a week, gone a week, back a week, gone a week.
That's life.
See. That's life.
I'm coming back from vacation early to do a charity game. Shocking.
Who's a charity for?
I don't know.
And who are you doing?
My pockets.
Not sure yet.
Okay.
But I think it's Extra Life. So.
Were you sent a message saying, "Hey, do you want to do this?"
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And don't forget Arthur's Patreon meeting tomorrow, I believe, Arthur.
True. Yes, that's right. I'll be talking about Solaris Nights. It's like days on Solaris, but 12 hours later.
Yeah. It's still raining.
That's how Solaris works. Let's get an outro from Mr. T Mad, Pondo T Mad.
I am Pondo, or Pondo the Mad. You can catch me on YouTube or Twitch /Pondo the Mad, or you can find me on my own channel Sunday nights, and with my 5e Gestalt game Hunters of Ulvern. Maybe Thursdays whenever we get back. Who knows? I don't even know if we decide what we wanted. I think we did. I don't recall. Maybe here Thursdays. That's all I gotta say.
What about Thursdays?
Huh?
He's talking about post BattleTech.
Post BattleTech.
Oh, Rad and I are playing video games this week.
I just meant like at some point eventually.
I'm waiting a couple weeks. Listen, we need to get past a wedding. I'm going on vacation. Like, it's gonna be a while before we get there.
Yeah, I understand. And you can the other places you can find me here Saturdays then, or Tuesdays occasionally.
In the background, handing people food.
I'm the disembodied hand for Tuesdays.
The master hand?
Sure. That's it for me.
James, our actual storyteller. What do you got?
Who is neither mysterious nor eloquent nor...
Listen, I'm sure someone would describe you as eloquent. I don't know about mysterious. Well, no,
Have
I
you
would
come up
describe
with a
you
name
as
yet, James?
Listen,
Sorry?
James is like, yeah, I've got a lot of experience. I used to do bodyguarding. I wrote for a woman's magazine, import export. Worked as a spy. No, wait, I didn't do that part.
Or did he?
Yeah, exactly. The crazy life of Grimdark James. You are mysterious. Please continue your outro.
Thank you very much. I am Grimdark James. You can find me back here on Wednesday for Cyberpunk and next Saturday for Rogue Trader. I'm also planning to record the first trial episode of the dice mechanics this week with my co-host to put up and see if people like our format. And if they do, that'll become a new podcast. So, Arthur, I don't know if I'll get you on for the first one where we just try some experimental shit, you know. We might drop some weird substances down there before we record, you know.
Yeah, you take your time. I'll be here when you need something.
That's it. Otherwise, yeah, you can catch my whole back catalogue at grimdarkpodcast.com or on Facebook and Twitter as well. Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. Hope you had a good time. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to Arthur's stuff on YouTube and join his Patreon. Give Arthur money so he can make more great shows like this.
Technically true. I have no refutable argument for that, even though it sounded weird.
That's right. Do it now, or
Twitch
else
Prime.
Nero will walk into your household and scrunch up your expensive stationery.
The piece of paper you're writing in Latin.
The gift from your now departed grandmother that you were writing on for the first time that Nero destroys. Yes.
Okay, that's it. We're done.